This lesson starts on the bottom of page 9. We are going to be completing the Loft activity in your packet. So I have already jumped, as you can see, to creating the rectangle in step 1, and am now going to be creating the 2 sketches required in order to do a loft, and that would be steps 2 and 3. If you flip over to page 11, that will show you the 2 sketches that you actually need to use. You cannot do this with an extrusion. It will not work. So you need to use a loft, which is a new tool that we're going to use right now. So if you create a sketch on the front surface of your plane, your box, so we're working in this plane here, the first thing you need to do is project geometry. So I would project this surface here. As you can see, you get the purple outline of our shape. And what you're going to want to do is draw in with your lines, and don't worry about snapping it to the middle or anything like that. We're going to apply our dimensions to do that for us. So the first thing we'll do is dimension the easy stuff. We know that the distance from this point to our corner is 0.25. Same thing for this here. Next, we know that the distance from this point here to our side is half the distance of the overall width of our part. So the overall width was 2.5. Hopefully that's what you used. We're going to divide that by 2, and that will place it right in the middle for us, no problem. The next thing is to dimension the bottom point, again, here to the actual bottom to give us some reference, and that distance is 0.25. Make sure that you are not confusing or looking back and forth between the front and the back sketch. This is just the front sketch here, and all the dimensions came off of the sheet. Once you've done this, finish your sketch, and you're all set. Now, we're going to create another sketch on the back of our part. So I need to rotate my part. I'm now looking at the back, and I'm going to place the sketch here. So again, I'm going to start by projecting my geometry of my rectangle. I'm going to draw in my line tool and make my triangle. I'm going to dimension the easy things. Point to corner, 0.5. Same thing over here. And distance from here to the bottom is going to be 0.75. Now, if you didn't notice, I did not dimension the distance from here to my side. And the reason is I'm going to show you how to use a geometric constraint to do that, because you can probably pick out the equals geometric constraint in your packet on page 11. If I make this line equal to this line, it will automatically place it in the middle. Again, I use the equals tool, and I just clicked on both of the lines, and now it's perfectly centered. You can see that I'm fully constrained down here. So this is all finished up. So I'm going to finish my sketch. And the last part is to actually apply the loft feature. Loft is located up here next to revolve. I'm going to choose my loft, and the easiest way to do this is if you hover over your sketches, it'll actually allow you to select them. So I'm going to select this sketch, and I want to pick just this area. And you see if I move my mouse around, it's kind of going back and forth between them. So you might have to move your mouse to get just the right space. And mine's actually being quite difficult. So you can see I selected that because it's highlighted blue. I'm going to rotate my shape around. I'm going to select, first I have to click right here, click to add. And I'm going to add this sketch, And again, I need to select just this area here. And it looks like it worked for me. I'm going to click OK, and we'll see what happens. Nothing happened, okay? The reason is that what we never did was we never cut. So I left it on this for top one because most likely you're probably going to miss that. So if you click cut here, which makes sense because we're going to remove this material, I click OK, and we now have a cutout of our shape. And that's how you get a weird cutout or a weird shape, or if you want to transition between like a circle and a rectangle, you could use a loft tool to make that material work the way you want. So that takes care of our loft feature. Make sure you save this part and move on to the next one.